Well, happy Thanksgiving, my ex-homeschooler friends. It's your friend Jacob Gooden, and I told you I was dropping 2 episodes this week, and I'm delivering on that promise. First and foremost, a very happy Thanksgiving to each and every one of you. I hope you guys are spending time relaxing, chilling with family, with friends, with loved ones, because that's what the holiday season is all about. So, let's get that out of the way. Today, you're getting solo from me. What are we going to talk about? We're going to talk a little bit. I'm going to share my story. I'm going to share the story of how the show came to be. I'm going to share a little glimpse into what to expect for the next month, for the month of December, and a little bit into 2025. And then I want to just share some thoughts of how I see this show kind of changing in the next year. All good things, right? And then at the very end, you got to stick around because I found a juicy video of me and my good friend Derry Brooks performing at a homeschool talent show, and I'm going to drop it in the closer of this episode. Derry, I hope you don't mind. I didn't ask for permission, so I'm sorry, but I'm putting it out there. It was on Facebook. The world has already seen this. So let's talk about where the show originates from. I've mentioned before on this show that the purpose of the show was really to catch up. It's kind of selfish, right? It's to catch up with old friends. It's to reminisce about homeschool days. It's to talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly of homeschooling. And what I meant when I originally said that was kind of much more from a fluffy place, right? When I said bad and ugly, I really meant like cringy and just like, I don't know, looking back at your high school self and kind of being like, oh man, shouldn't have worn red pants. And what this show has become is a lot deeper than that. We've gone into like religious stuff, and we've talked about some like abuse, and we've talked about mental health and all these different things, right? We've gone down a variety of different paths. And it kind of started with that, to be real honest with you. So, as many of you know, I've been in the podcasting world since 2019, and I've been an editor and producer and worked on a variety of different shows, from business shows to relationship shows to tech and travel and all kinds of fun stuff. It's like the best education in the world because I get to hear from experts in all of these fields for free, and I get to edit them and make them sound really good. But with that always came this nagging question when I would meet new people. They go, oh, well, what's your podcast about, right? And I didn't have one. And I spit ideas out there for a long time about, oh, I'm going to talk about the podcasting world. I'm going to talk about being an editor. I'm going to talk about this. I'm going to talk about that. I'm going to do this kind of a thing. And nothing really stuck. Nothing resonated with me until, honestly, COVID hit, right? 2020, the world shuts down. We're all stuck at home. And to be honest, I started to go a little stir crazy. I started to have a lot more anxiety and depression than I had previously, as most people did. And I really started to isolate myself from the world and from my friends and from my wife even. And she encouraged me to start reaching out to old friends and just say, hey, what's up? And so I did. So I texted a few friends, I messaged them wherever I could find them, and I just said, hey, what's up? I would love to like catch up and hear how things are and what's going on in life. And most of those people were homeschool friends. And so we would get together and we, jump on a Zoom call or we get on the phone or whatever, and we reminisce. We talk about being in a band together, or we talk about dance class, or we talk about whatever. Homeschool stuff, right? We relate on that. And then we'd catch up and we'd be like, oh, what are you doing today? And talk about job stuff. The normal catch up with your friend stuff. And through these conversations, I started to realize and learn that the way we viewed our homeschool years was so vastly different. And just our experiences in general were vastly different. We were all connected through these memories, but the way we looked at it was just different, right? And I thought, man, this is so interesting. And I would get off these chats and we would have talked about, I'm hurting with this, or I'm struggling with that, or this really makes me happy, right? And I went, man, I think there's something here. And it just thought, it kind of, bounced around in my brain a little bit. And so I started mulling it over, right? And I was like, oh, so there's a show here. There's something here. So the title of the show, the Ex-Homeschoolers Club, kind of came up because also during 2020, a Facebook group popped up that was like the Ex-Homeschoolers of Ventura County or something like that. And I was like, man, that word ex-homeschoolers just like really resonated with me for some reason. And it was more of the same thing that I had already been doing, right? It was connecting all of us ex-homeschoolers from Ventura County. And we were reminiscing about just like dumb stuff and just like cringy moments. And, some of us were maybe going a little deeper than others and things like that. Man, again, this show idea is like in the back of my head. Man, I think it'd be really cool to interview these people and talk to them and, all this stuff. But there's also that imposter syndrome side of me that is going, nobody wants this. Nobody wants to hear about this, right? You're a bunch of weirdo homeschool kids. Nobody wants to hear that. Like, I was convincing myself that clients weren't going to hire me because they were going to find out I was a weird homeschool kid. I was like, I can't deliver the quality of show that I want. All these types of things, all these lies basically that I was telling myself. And so eventually, I just kind of had to say screw it, right? I just had to hit record. And so I called my friend Carrie France, and she agreed to come on the show. She was the second episode of this podcast, but she was recorded first before I did my solo. And we just had a great conversation. We just had fun. And after recording that, and especially after it went live, but really just after recording that, I went, I could do this. I got this. And I still was kind of in this mindset of like, I'm only ever going to get 15 people to agree to come on this thing, but it'll be a cool thing that I'll have done 15 episodes. Just so everyone knows, this is episode 18, okay? And I've got a couple more already recorded, so we're already getting into 20s, which is awesome. It's gone farther than I thought it would. But yeah, I had a conversation with her, posted it, and it really, the response was amazing. And it's still probably the most listened to episode of the podcast. So thank you, Carrie. You're going to come back on, okay? We're going to talk more about homeschool stuff. But it's been really cool to see homeschool friends, both old and new, come out of the woodwork, join the club, essentially. And yeah, it's gone so much further than I ever thought it would. I mean, we've done thousands of views, thousands of listens, hundreds of followers at this point. It's been awesome. And it really hasn't slowed down. And so I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart, because I genuinely thought 20 people were going to listen to this, and it was mostly going to be like my family who I was begging to listen to this thing. So thank you all. So that's kind of the backstory. Now let's touch on what's kind of to come. What's coming down the road. So in December is going to be the month of the good uns. I've already recorded with both my parents, and I'm working on my solo episode. But you're getting 3 weeks of us, okay? So first week, you're going to get an episode with my mom. We're chatting about why she chose to homeschool us, what that process was like, some of the hard stuff, the good stuff, would she do it again? Yeah, I think she does a really good job of explaining her thought process behind the whole thing. And yeah, so we're going to touch on that. We're going to touch on what she's doing today, and all that good stuff. And yeah, it was just a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun to record. I'm looking forward to putting it out into the world. Week 2, you're going to get my dad. So my dad went from like 0% involved in homeschool, aside from being like, yeah, you can do it, to being a huge advocate and a huge part of our homeschool experience by the end of it. So that interview was really good. Because, I mean, it's a dad and a son talking about this change that happened. And it just was really good. It's just like, I'm not even going to, I don't even want to tease anything because it was just so good. You guys are going to hear it soon enough, okay? And then week 3, you're getting a solo with me. A couple months ago, I did my purity culture episode. That did really well. It resonated with a lot of you. I asked because religion is obviously a big part of purity culture. But I asked in that episode if you wanted to hear my religious story, my religious upbringing, and my experience with religion and where I sit today. And enough of you said yes that I'm going to give it to you. So I'm currently working on that. It's coming very, very soon. And then that fourth week in December is Christmas. So I'm taking the week off. We're all just going to relax. Everybody's going to enjoy being with their family, being with loved ones, opening presents if you celebrate Christmas. If you don't, sorry, go listen to a previous episode. But then we'll be back in January for some new things. I've got some cool stuff coming. The show has enabled so many people to reach out, which is amazing. So in addition to, we're going to get more episodes with the Achieve and the Group Solutions people, the people that a lot of us know and love, but we're also going to start introducing some new faces. So I've had a couple kids, well, they're no longer kids. I've had a couple people reach out who were homeschool kids in the 80s and the 90s, and they're going to share their unique experience with that. And so that's going to be a lot of fun. I've got a couple college friends coming on who are going to share their homeschool experiences as well, which is going to be a lot of fun. And I'm cooking up some other stuff that I think will be interesting and hopefully helpful in 2025. So, yeah. So here's a couple of the things that are kind of changing that I maybe need some help with, that I would love some feedback on. So, first and foremost, nothing drastic is changing about the show, okay? It's still going to remain what it is at its core, right? An interview with homeschool kids about their homeschool experience, an interview with homeschool parents about their homeschool experience. That's going to be the core of everything we do. Here's what's going to change. I want to learn to become a better storyteller. And I want to, the episodes that have come out that have really resonated with people have this unique story arc to them. And every episode has been amazing. Every person that's come on, thank you so much. But there's certain ones that have really just struck chords with people. And so I've been paying attention to that. And I want to continue to create episodes that have some kind of through lesson or experience or something that's tangible that we can grab onto and learn something from. Okay? So whether that's religious, parenting, sexuality, education, not mental illness, but like mental well-being and things like that, business. I don't know. I got a lot of ideas bouncing around. Okay. But I want to create these through arcs that we can talk about with people. And so yeah, so that's coming. And 2025 is going to be a big year. Okay. A big year. I feel it. I'm manifesting it. Okay, guys. And let me tell you, for me, a little bit of, I'm not always good about this, but I'm trying to be better and set an intention for the year. And my intention for 2025 is that as a person, I want to learn to listen more. I want to learn to learn more, if that makes sense. I want to advocate more, and I want to educate more. And kind of where we sit right now as a country in the U.S. is really scary for a lot of people. And where we sit just as people, I think there's a lot going on in the world as a whole that is scary and confusing. There's a lot of voices that don't get heard, that kind of a thing. There's a lot of education that could just be better and things like that. And so I want to recognize that I have some privilege as a straight white guy. I have a voice that tends to get heard. And so I want to do some things. I want to listen to voices that don't get heard as much. I want to learn to ask questions of those people and learn from them, to listen to books, read books, listen to podcasts, watch movies, do whatever to help educate myself with strong, healthy knowledge. I want to be an advocate for those people, again, who have less of a voice. And then I want to educate. And what I mean by that is the stuff that I learn, I want to help educate more and more people with those things, right? And have tough conversations and have the facts to back them up and stuff like that. So that means a lot of things. Hopefully it's not too dark. Hopefully I didn't scare too many people off. I could go down a lot of rabbit holes with that. I'm going to stop right there. If you got questions about it, reach out to me. I love to hear from you and answer questions and, whatever else. But here's what I need help with from you guys. So the Ex-Homeschoolers Club is meant to be a community. It's meant to be not just me having conversations with one person every single week, having conversations behind the scenes with people, which is happening constantly. But it's also meant to be a place for you guys to reconnect with each other, to meet new friends, to make new connections, all those kinds of things. So I know other podcasts do Facebook groups, they do Slack channels, Discords, subreddits, some kind of community element. I'm thinking about that. I don't know what the best choice is for that. If that's even something you guys would be interested in. So I want to hear from you. There's going to be a couple ways that you guys can answer questions from me. One, I'm going to put together a Google form. It's going to be at the very top of the show notes, okay? It's going to be like link number 1. It's the most important thing, okay? That is going to just be a place for you to like drop thoughts of like, here's what I want to hear on the show. Here's what I think a good community would look like. Here's topics. Here's people I want to hear from, okay? So there's going to be a couple questions in there. Answer what you want. Leave blank what you want. So that's hopefully going to be at the top of the show notes, top of the YouTube channel. Whatever you are consuming this content on, it's going to be there. Okay. The other way you can reach out to me, you can always DM me, Instagram, EXHS Club, or you can email me at exhsclub@gmail.com. So those are other great ways to get a hold of me. I just wanted to create a form that had those questions in place that you guys could just answer, and then it drops all that information into a spreadsheet for me. It's a little easier to digest. Excuse me. But yeah, so there's that. And like I said, it's going to have a couple different questions on there, more things you want to hear on the show, people you want on the show, topics you want us to hit on. Really anything you want to see, okay? I want to know your thoughts, what we could be doing better, what you already thought was great, all that kind of stuff. So I'm looking at my notes. I'm trying to figure out if there's anything else I wanted to ask before we go. Yes, there's one more favor I want to ask of you. So after you've done with that, I would like for you guys, if you wouldn't mind, because one of my goals for the end of 2025, or excuse me, the end of 2024, is I would like to hit 2,000 subscribers on YouTube, and I would like to hit 200 followers on Instagram. I'm actively working towards that, but it is hard. So, one, if you could share those accounts with people, share an episode with a friend, maybe it's your favorite episode, whatever. Send it out to somebody who maybe hasn't listened to the show. Maybe they have listened to the show. I don't know, but reconnect with somebody. Shoot them the podcast if you wouldn't mind. Tell them to give it a listen. Maybe give me a follow if they like it, that kind of thing. It's a vanity metric, but I think we can do it, okay? I think we can do it. So there's that. Okay. I think that's everything. I'm looking at my notes. Is there anything else I got? No. Okay. So with that, I'm going to say this. Happy Thanksgiving. It's been an honor, and it continues to be an honor every time I hit record and then hit publish to serve you guys. And so, yeah, with that, I'm going to let myself and Derry Brooks play you out with our rendition of Home by Edward Sharpe and the Magnetic Zeros. A little bit of context of what this is. So if you were not part of Achieve, this was a homeschool talent show that our homeschool group would put on every single year. And yeah, we were musicians. So this was us being musicians. All right. Until next week, I will see you. All right. Peace.